What's up, Tsla family? It's Ray J back with another video. And in this one, I wanted to break down what's happening with SPY, Tesla, and the overall market. I'm also going to talk about some big news involving Tesla, but just know that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out my Moomoo link. If you deposit $100, you're guaranteed 5 free stocks. Deposit $2,000, you're guaranteed 30 in total. And the offer ends in the end of March, so check it out before they run out. Anyways, for the market right now, as you can see, Tesla has this resistance that's been slowing it down. We had this resistance that rejected Tesla multiple times, but at the same time, we have this support down here that's been holding Tesla up since October. Tesla's still holding above that. So what does this mean? Tesla's range bound right now, stuck between these levels. For the short term, it's been downtrending in this range, but we're still stuck between these key levels, between these trend lines. So I'll talk more about this in just a couple of minutes. Just know a couple of things about the markets in Tesla. For now, there's nothing too significant that's coming out for the rest of the day. The bill auctions just came out. So there's nothing too significant that's remaining. But there is this news affecting Tesla about how they're cutting the prices of their Cybertruck. And there's been a lot of criticism Tesla's getting from mainstream media, at least thus far. So what's going on so far? We have many people such as the global equities research analyst Trip Chowdhury. I may have said that wrong, but that's what his name sounds like. But if anything, I just wanted to say that he has been criticizing the Cybertruck's design, saying that it's too big and it's lacking the necessary cells that Tesla was initially expecting. And he's essentially saying that the size needs to be reduced by about 20%. And he thinks that the price should be between $40,000 and $60,000. However, guys, just know that that's just his opinion, and different people have different opinions on it. Some people think the Cybertruck is very beautiful; other people don't really like it. But the news is coming out that Tesla has been reducing the price between $1,600 on new vehicles and as much as about $2,600 on the demonstration versions. So they're cutting prices. And we don't know the exact sales for us to truly say this, but there is some indications out there that Tesla's trying to get rid of more inventory, and this could be an indication that demand is slowing down. Now, the reason I say we're not 100% sure, though, is because the year just started. Okay, what typically happens is you get a big surge in sales at the end of a year for many car companies and EVs. And then when the next year starts, sales do slow down a bit until they start to catch up by like the end of the month of the next month. So, for example, in December, Tesla's sales went up like crazy. We got a big push in sales. That's what tends to happen every December. But then when January starts, the sales will slow down a bit. And then they do tend to catch up towards the end of the month. That's what like the Chinese sales data suggests and factors like that. But I just want to say that we can't truly say that the Cybertruck sales are just completely, slumping until we see the data. And I don't think the data is released yet. So could there be demand issues? Sure, it's always a possibility, but we don't know the full extent of it until we see our data. So I'll be a little bit open-minded just to be safe. If Tesla truly has major demand issues with the Cybertruck, then Tesla has to take necessary steps to help offset that, from price cuts to different sales incentives, such as like offering free charging and other things just like that. So I hope that Tesla's sales improve for the Cybertruck. I think that it's still going to be a big hit for the long term. There's still high demand for it, in my opinion. But given the things that different consumers are going through in the high interest rate environments, that could be affecting demand for it to some extent. And we'll see how things go, at least in the future, and how these price cuts affect things. Once again, I just don't have enough data to truly say that their sales are dumping so much. I can't truly say that yet until I see things. So we'll wait for that data to come out soon. There's also this news right here about how even if the next administration comes into power, the NHTSA has already made it very clear that they're going to continue to investigate Tesla. They're going to continue to run these probes looking into FSD and potential accidents caused by it, in their opinions. They believe it's very important for them to commit to that and for them to be unbiased when doing so, regardless of politics. So that's what their view is. Excuse me. That's what their view is. Many people out there are arguing that that's not really fair to Tesla. They think that Tesla is just, they're unfairly being investigated like crazy, and different precautions have to be taken. I would say this. I think that there has to be a level of regulation of FSD to be able to tell if There are accidents involved and things have to be disclosed, but simultaneously, I think that the NHTSA goes very far, and they are, they do tend to be very biased against Tesla in particular because of, different factors. So it goes both ways. I would hope that they don't just run these probes on Tesla, but they simultaneously try to look into like other companies and kind of treat them the same way. And simultaneously, they have to be very careful with the way they run these investigations, because there could be a lot of bias in the data that's being used. But I'm not going to go into the full details about that. I just want to say this: these investigations are nowhere near done. They're going to continue to do this for a long while, even after the next administration is inaugurated. So just keep that in mind. Anyways, as far as the market goes, I just want to say that Tesla's range bound right now. We're trying to hold this area of support, but at the same time, when you zoom in, let me go to the 5 minutes and just show you this. We are technically just range bound. Our support is closer to this like 410 area. If that fails us, we're looking for 408 near this lower trend line. 408 to 406, that's where the 50 EMA is on the larger time frame. And then if we try to rebound, you want to see us get back above like this 16.5 area, the 50 EMA to bounce. Otherwise, I think Tesla's on a bit of a downtrend. It could be approaching 410, and it is a little bit weak right now because of all this bad news, the news about the investigations and the Cybertruck that's been coming out. So that's why the share price is dipping a little bit. So please keep that in mind, guys. We're going to likely just be range bound, but Tesla has not lost critical support. If we end up losing like 400, I will become a lot more concerned. If we break past 420, we could try to bounce. Otherwise, we're just stuck within this range. For SPY, we're in a very interesting place. So we have this trend line of resistance. We rejected many times. And we're going to be watching to see, do we get a rejection off this trend line to lose 590? If that's the case, this is going to be dipping more. If we hold above this, though, if we break past 595, we could try to bounce. As of right now, SPY is very choppy. It's stuck in the middle. So I'm going to continue to wait and see if we get this rejection or not. As of right now, we're kind of stuck, so give this some time to develop. Same thing with the QQQ. Very similar setup. We have this trend line acting as resistance. We've hit this many times, and in this case, we're just barely holding around it. So I think that we'll have to see if we could break 520 to remain bullish. Otherwise, if we lose 514, we could turn back down. We're stuck in the middle, so we're giving this some time to shuffle, so give it time to develop. On the IWM Russell 2000, we have a nice double bottom right here. We're going to be watching this resistance at 225. If this rejects, we're looking for 222. And if this breaks, we could be trying to bounce for 230. We're stuck between these ranges, so give this some time. So watch to see if we get a rejection off the trend line or not. And we'll be very, very patient nonetheless. For ES, we have this resistance to watch for. We're continuing to reject off this area. We'll see if we can break past 6,020 to start pushing higher. If we can't do that, if we start dipping to about 59.45. We're stuck in the middle, so watch and see how we end up reacting to 6,000. It's still shuffling, so it needs some time to develop, and we'll see if we reject off this or not. I'm still waiting to see, so be very patient. Bitcoin did exactly what I predicted. I said it would dip and then bounce. As you can see, we touched this 20 EMA and bounced. So we're going to be looking for an attempt to get back up to 100,750. If that breaks, we're looking for 102,000 as our target. So it's doing a good job so far. For Nvda, we're on a bit of a downtrend. We're going to be looking at this main support right here around this 133 area. If 135 fails us, if we break 137, we could try to bounce. I do see a little bit of weakness here, so it could dip closer to 133 if 135 fails. So just keep that in mind. Apple's looking weaker. We got this big rejection on the 4-hour. There's also a continuation lower. So if we lose 230, we're looking for a dip closer to about 227.5 or so. So just keep that in mind. For a coin, we're pumping very, very nicely. We have a nice accumulation structure. This could be pushing for 280. If that breaks, we're looking for essentially 285. For Amazon, we pumped to made a lower high right here, so we're looking for essentially 221.8 and 221.13. So if those fails, we could be dipping all the way down to these lower levels, such as like 218. If we manage to break past 224, we could try to bounce, but I think Amazon, it didn't do the best of jobs at holding up, unfortunately. So we're looking for a test of 221. We'll see if that holds or not. Meta is looking decent right now. This is trying to push higher, so we could be looking for an attempt to get up to about 615. It's very choppy right now. There's a lot of chop in this market. Microsoft is stuck between 428 and 424, going back and forth between these levels. And then Google is also stuck between 193 and 198, going back and forth and back and forth. So we're waiting to see which way it breaks. Otherwise, we just remain range bound. The market is just in a range right now, so we need to give this more time to develop. Just know that there is A little bit of weakness. I wouldn't say it's that bad yet on SPY and the QQQ. We're kind of stuck. We're just very choppy. So we'll see if we get a rejection or not off our key levels. So be very, very patient. Give the market more time, guys. Thank you all so much for listening. I'll be back very soon for another update in a couple of hours. Until then, I appreciate you guys for your attention and peace out.